Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us at the MarketSite studio in Times Square, New York City, we have Ray Lee and Joe Miller, co-founders of Quivr, to discuss using AI and blockchain technology to support data authenticity, privacy, and ownership. It is great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks. And Ray, I'm going to kick it off with you.
Sure.
Tell us about Quivr.
Yes, so Quivr is a platform that authenticates your passions, your interests, your values, and your professional attributes, and aggregates them into a single universal profile that's interoperable, portable, and immutable. We like to say it's like LinkedIn for culture, because on Quivr, you can not only represent yourself professionally, but you can also represent yourself culturally.
AI and blockchain technology, we're talking about that a lot. How does this support data authenticity, privacy, ownership?
Yeah, I'll take that. In terms of blockchain is foundational to the product, mainly because every Quivr profile actually is a soulbound NFT. So that's rooted and assigned to the user. And everything that's actually done on the product, whether you authenticate or validate that these things are true about your passion for an artist or your passion for a brand, is authenticated on-chain as well. So that's actually wrapped in a smart contract, which is essentially like a dynamic NFT. And the data side is that we don't hold the data. What we do is we actually synthesize that data and we validate those things are true or not true. So it's almost like a certificate of authenticity is actually what's badged on your profile.
Yeah, we just had Soulbound on recently, know them well. Will AI help to prevent people from cheating the social validation process?
Yeah, so as Ray was saying, we look at the data, we look at behavior, Threads just came out, right? So everybody has lots of different platforms, people are behaving in lots of different ways there. AI is allowing us to synthesize all of that information the way Ray discussed. And then what we do is we allow for the space that, for the sorts of things that there's not data available, people can create data. They can take videos, they can check into locations, things like this. And it goes out to the community for validation, right? Is this indeed the thing that you are claiming that it is? So we use AI agent models and things like this to protect that authenticity, right? So we look for bad actors, we look for clusters of groups misbehaving in that way, of people always voting poorly. And I think really importantly, we use AI to suss out things like discrimination and that sort of stuff.
I mean, it almost feels like users have just had enough of it. They're looking for a new platform where it's not so much of a cesspool. How is Quivr leveraging AI to scale the product?
Yeah, so this is actually really valuable to our go-to-market, to our ability to grow as a seed company right now. Ray and I are both serial founders, so I think just in the last year with the popularization of LLMs and things like this, it was really, really difficult to be able to synthesize information that was public. Maybe you wrote a blog, and I want to know, what'd you write about? What was your interest in that blog post? Using NLP and technologies like that previously could be very difficult, could be very complicated. Trying to just synthesize something like your LinkedIn profile could be very complicated. And now these LLMs allow you to really parse this apart, do it at scale, and it's like commoditize that entire aspect of data science. And so we can do it now at scale with a small team, and that's suitable for, of course, a seed round company.
Let's talk about the gamification that you incorporate on the platform. How does that encourage users to take control of their digital identities?
Yeah, that's in terms of how we thought about the product, gamification was a key element to it, and for it to create a daily use and daily opportunities for people to not only get validated on certain things that their affinity, their passion for a certain brand or a certain category. It was actually for us to kind of reimagine loyalty programs, because especially with Gen Z, they're not participating in loyalty programs. And so what we wanted is to engage the user, specifically Gen Z, of how to actually create opportunity for them to get rewarded for their engagement. And so we want to create that active engagement, which equals points, which also unlocks opportunities on the platform with brands and artists and companies.
So how come it's only Gen Z focused? I'm Gen X, this is interesting to me. Couldn't other generations benefit from data verification?
Absolutely, yeah. It's designed for everyone. The Gen Z aspect of it is our first go-to-market target, mainly because if you think about the data out there, there's Gen Zers spend 8 to 10 hours a day on their mobile devices. And what they're doing is that they're consuming content, but most of what the time is spent, if you think about it, is actually building up their social identities and their social profiles. And so it's nascent to them, it's also ingrained in them to actually manage and care about their digital identities more than their real world identities. And so that was the primary reason for that target.
What makes Quivr unique relative to other digital identity solutions?
Yeah, so just picking up where Ray left off there, the other reason that I think Gen Z is an interesting go-to-market target is because unlike I think a lot of other generations, they really want to bring like their whole self into an entity. So it's like there's a conversation around bringing your whole self to work, being rewarded for that semester abroad or this interest in cooking, like recognizing your whole humanity in that way. And so we've really built Quivr from the bottom up that way. And what's interesting about it is that when people go to create these videos and have this kind of new media experience, the videos are coming across with an intentionality that's very different than the videos that they make, say, on Twitter or Instagram or something like that. The intentionality is to authenticate their real life humanity, right? Their real life interests, the real life aspects of their being, versus, say, like a curated persona that you're trying to present, like, say, in Instagram, if especially amongst if you're creators and things like that. It's really authentic. There's no filters. There's not show, right? It's really just like you meet, like you're meeting us right now. It's like this kind of aspect of in the media, and I think it's a really unique and refreshing take on social media.
I think so too. I also think from a mental health perspective, I mean, not everyone is living their best life like
Yes.
it looks on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all that. So I think to be more authentic, and I also, it resonated with me when you said this is almost like the personal side of what LinkedIn, I mean, it could be another way if you want to bring your whole self to work for people in position of hiring to get a more holistic view
That's
of
right.
who you are.
That's pretty, yeah, exactly.
All right. I appreciate the insight, Ray and Joe. Thanks for joining us
Thank
on
you very
Trade
much.
Talks.
Thank you, sir.
And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.